Hello, folks. And I'm just going to give you an update about in this video, it's just going to be an update about the conversation I had with the administrator in the formal complaint. I originally gave I faxed the administrator the formal complaint on the 3rd. Gave him 10 business days to correct all of the problems on the complaint, which I believe is tomorrow. It's currently 11:30 at night, so tomorrow, if he hasn't, I'll give him to those, not tomorrow, but the day after. What is today? Today's Wednesday, tomorrow's Thursday, so I'll give him till Friday, and then Friday I'll send it off to corporate headquarters with some changes as far as what he has done. Like, from my perspective, the only thing that he's done that the complaint told him that he needed to do, or I was going to do when I go to corporate and then health department, etc., is fix this bed. That's it. As far as the shuttle bus goes, the only thing that I've done is see if I fit in it. I have no idea if anyone's been licensed for it. I'm pretty sure somebody's been using it from this facility, because the maintenance guy said something about picking somebody up from dialysis, but I have no idea if he's actually licensed for that, because according to the administrator, nobody here is licensed for that vehicle. And he made that comment to me before he ever, tried to see if I could fit in the vehicle in my wheelchair. So I would assume he's licensed, but and I remember before that complaint went out, him making a comment about waiting to pick somebody up or something. And I thought he meant at the store. I thought he meant in his truck or something. I think he was talking about this van. So I have no idea if this guy is licensed. I have no idea if anybody's licensed. I won't know until, something happens where I should use that van to get taken to an appointment or whatever. And as far as the other things, the complaints and so forth, according to him, he's done an investigation every time. I don't know that he has. I still have CNAs coming in here giving me attitude. I've got CNAs now that come in here. There's 2 at a time come in. It only takes one of them to answer the call light, and it's only certain ones who I know this girl that complained about me, sexualizing her or whatever. And that hasn't happened. She hasn't come in here and said, hey, I misunderstood, I apologize, whatever. Nobody else has said, hey, I found out what happened. I thought she was right. I know she's not, nothing. The guy who swore at me, he's still here. Well, I don't know if the 2 girls that refused to give me water are still here or not. I assume they are. I saw one of them after the formal complaint, but before now, and I haven't seen her since. I only saw the one time, a while back, a week or so ago. But I assume they're still here. So, I believe in the formal complaint, it said that he needed to take action against whoever, those complaints, etc. And he's done nothing. There's been no report that's gone to the health department. I was supposed to get a copy of the report of this formal complaint that went to the health department. I haven't gotten that. I was supposed to get an apology letter that also says I'm not going to be retaliated against. Haven't seen that, which is very surprising. You would think at the very least that would happen. Not happened. So it's like he fixed his bed out. He also did, at least so far, well, before 9:30. I'll cut some slack to the CNAs because they like enter the room just before 9, but I don't actually get put into the chair until 9:30. That's just marginal. But then there's times when I'm get up before breakfast. So now this is new. Now this goes according to my care plan. However, like I said before in one of the other videos, this woman who changed my care plan a while back to have me go before 9, which was because of something that happened with the old unit manager. Well, two ago now. It was a black girl that was a unit manager. And she told me I had to do this. I said, okay, well, and that means I have to get up before 9 in order to be up and able to go and look at the menu, etc., at the toddler kitchen, blah, blah, blah. That's what this originally was for. Now, personally, I could get up at 6 in the morning, 6:30. It doesn't matter, and just stay in my chair. I used to sleep in the chair. So it doesn't matter to me when you want to put me in. It was more for the CNAs to cut them some slack. That's why I was doing that. So when I changed it from before lunch, and I was always last, sometimes it was after lunch was supposed to have been, the trays were supposed to be out before even I got put in a chair. It got changed to 9 because of them. Still, they weren't doing it. Not even making it till 9. And then I had to reschedule some of my infusions and my surgery because of it. Because the CNAs weren't getting me up when they were supposed to. That was kind of like, now you're starting this is the straw that breaks the camel's back now. So, but now, ever since this formal complaint, now that's happening. I guess it's now in the actual care plan, because according to him it wasn't. According to her, 2 different times were, and then they just vanished. I'm going to say that somebody did that by accident or whatever. Because she knew it was in there. She saw it. She said, I saw it. She said, because I talked to her a little bit ago. She said, I even had CNA say something to me about 9 o'clock time. So it was definitely in there because they saw it. And all of a sudden it wasn't. And then the administrator comes and tells me, oh, it's not in there. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt that when he looked, he never saw it in there. But it's a little coincidental, which reminds me, I don't know if I said anything about that. I will admit that it wasn't in there. And now all of a sudden I'm getting up before 9. Why is it so easy now and it wasn't before? I don't get it. Why did it take 9 months in a formal complaint before you start actually, getting me up when my care plan said to? And it takes 4 months in a formal complaint to get a new mattress and bed? Well, bed rails, really. I didn't care. The other bed was fine. I just needed the new mattress and better rails. Their answer, because there was no better rails, was to put this different bed. Because this bed comes with these rails. These are very solid. The only thing about this bed I don't like is that when you raise up the back, it goes away from the wall, which means I have to put the head all the way down in order to reach anything that's on my tables. The other bed, when you raised it up, it would go backwards as it went out so that you stayed basically in the same position, so I could still reach both tables, even if it was raised up like it is now. But in this bed, I can't do that. That's the only thing I don't like about this bed. There's less pain here. There's still some pain, but not as much as what before. So that's better. Okay, now the coincidence. I don't know if I mentioned this. I don't think I did. But the other day, the girl's here again. Was it last night? I think it was last night, actually. I think it was the same girl last night. No, because it was when my light was out. It was last weekend. It was the same girl, but it was last weekend. She came in here, and she was working days. I think it was the same girl. It was a girl I hadn't seen before, but this girl that came in tonight, I'm pretty sure this is her. She came in during the day to get me up, and it was last weekend when this overhead light wasn't working. Did I say something about this already? And a girl came in and said, it's a coincidence, or what a coincidence that the light wasn't working. Hold on, I'm going to check. Maybe I'm if I'm telling you the same story twice, I don't want to do that. I'm going to pause this a second and check. Hold on a second. Yeah, I did. It was on May 6th is when I published it, and it says, today's CNA said, and coincidences in there. I think it's the same girl tonight. So anyway, I was going to relate that back to the coincidence. So I did. I put a video out about that. So I'll get back to the administrator in this local complaint, local formal complaint. So there's a lot of stuff he hasn't done yet. He has not. He's done like really bare minimum as far as I'm concerned. Because these are all things he could have fixed at any time. Well, actually, everything, really. This is stuff he could have fixed at any time. The only thing is the licensing is the only thing that would have taken some time. Everything else he could have fixed instantly that I can think of. I mean, he would have had to do the investigations, would have took a day or whatever. But, other than that, the bed, he already had the bed, already had the mattress. So that's stuff he could have fixed months ago, and he didn't. The letter, the apology, and there's not going to be any retribution or whatever. Why is that a problem? That should have been immediate, and I've not seen that yet. So I'm definitely going to corporate next. And other than this bed and the 9 o'clock business from my care plan, everything else is staying, and I'm going to annotate because I already have the corporate written down. It's ready to be faxed right now. I had it since day one, but now because he has made some corrections, I'm going to annotate that in the letter before it goes to corporate that yes, these things have been fixed so far. But it's like that one nurse said, as far as my care plan, I said something to her. I said, why am I always last? Why aren't you following my care plan? And she said, we don't follow any care plans here. And she walked away, and I'm like, what the hell is she talking about? That was before I knew that the care plan is really a big deal. It's like failing to obey medical orders from a doctor. So you have to follow a care plan. Well, according to her, and she's a nurse, that is not the case. They don't care about care plans. I tried not to say the same thing twice before, and I just did it again. I just did it. So, but that was the situation with that nurse. She doesn't work on this. She doesn't work back here anymore. Same nurse I had problems with before. She's no longer back here. Although I did see her walking through here yesterday or today, and she was off duty. She wasn't in scrubs. She was in like a pair of shorts and something like that. She looked, I'm not going to say a word, but she looked like a guy, let's just put it that way, in a pair of shorts, and I forget what the hell she was wearing, but she was wearing was she wearing boots or tennis shoes? I forget what it was. But I remember looking at her going, she looks like a guy. She even had her hair pulled back or something. Anyway, that's not the thing. I'm not saying it, just because of the way that she talks and the way that she acts, it kind of fit. That's all I'm saying. Has nothing to do with whether I care. My sister's, family, as she puts it. Anyway, so she doesn't work here anymore. She's on another. That kind of gave me the impression that she doesn't work at this facility anymore. It was almost like she was coming back to say hey to everybody after she quit. But I don't know. Maybe she just stopped in to say hello. I don't know. But I know she's not working on over here. She's not doing anything with me anymore. But as far as the administrator not punishing people who should be punished, there's a lot of people here that should have been punished based on their, what happened before. But also, I alluded to it, what is it, the last video I did when I said it was my disease. If I personally am getting sick and tired of girls making assumptions about me because I look like I'm healthier than other people. I'm also sick and tired of people making assumptions like this girl did about I'm getting erections, which are random, but they think they're for real. That's my disease. So that is a person, a medical professional, using my disease against me so that they don't have to come down here and work with me anymore. Because I'm assuming they're saying, and I'm being very generous as far as what I heard the administrator say that this girl said. I'm talking in general with these other CNAs. If they're uncomfortable with the fact that I get erections, that's my disease. And that is your job to understand that when somebody has a disease, something medically wrong with them, you don't hold it against them. You don't use it against them to not work with them. That's your job, to work with them. If you have a problem with that, you need to find another job, and I mean that seriously. If you have a problem working with me, and that's why you're going to work with all these other people, and I have a feeling it's because with the other people, they don't complain when you leave them nasty. They don't complain when you take an hour, several hours to change them. They just sit there and quietly just roll with the punches. That ain't happening here. And I think that's a lot of the problem. I would certainly hope that they're not leaving everybody filthy like they do me because they think that I can handle it myself or whatever. It's not my disease that's causing this. I certainly hope they're not doing that to everybody. But I would not be surprised, let's say they do things with other people, that they take their time doing it. And these people just roll in with the punches. They don't cause any waves, because they have to depend on these people. Well, I do too. I have to depend on these CNAs, but I'll be damned if I'm going to keep my mouth shut and live here for 20 years with the CNAs acting like a fool. Because they don't want to do stuff. Ain't happening. Well, that's one of the things this administrator has not done, is crack down on the CNAs around here. Now, when he was in here, I guess you could kind of consider that that's part of the investigation into what I said and what I did, or what they said I did. Yeah, that would be the better way to put it. What they said, and my word against theirs, basically. You could kind of say that's him questioning me for the investigation, but these are investigations that should have happened a month or more, 2 months ago. And he's just now asking me. That means he didn't do it before. And that is the complaint. That's part of the complaint, is that he's not doing any investigations. And he's supposed to. Not only is he supposed to, but he's supposed to, send them into the Department of Health. And I asked for copies because if you did this, I want to know you did it. And if you didn't do it and you are going to do it, I want to know that you did it. And at the very least, my formal complaint should have been annotated, or there should have been something done on it, an official report done that gets sent to the public health department, and I should get a copy. And that hasn't happened yet. So I don't, and as far as I'm concerned, it hasn't happened, period. Because this administrator decided he's better than all that. He's better than the local and federal law says. He's better than all that. Well, the document that's basically a copy of what he got, it's just a little more corporate than local, has the laws listed that have been broken. Whereas what he got does not have the laws listed. It just says, hey, this is what happened. This is what I'm complaining about. You have 10 days to fix it, period. But when it goes to corporate, that has the actual laws that have been broken in it. So if he thinks he hasn't broken any of the laws, or that I'm not aware of it because I didn't put it in the message to him, the formal complaint, he's got another thing coming. Because I am. I'm very aware. I'm very aware that he broke the law. And I'm very aware that because he broke the law so badly, or so much, however you want to put that, I have lawsuits against him in the facility for not just individuals that have been neglectful and abusive, but systemic neglect and abuse. And that's even worse. That means the entire place, this place of business is conducting business in a manner that causes neglect and abuse. It's not a one-off thing. So, and that's what the laws that go up to corporate are talking about. So he's got another thing coming if he thinks I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. And I haven't even talked about everything. There's other stuff I'm going to bring up if I don't see him changing. And so far they haven't. There have been little changes. It's like certain people have made changes. I think it's certain people are actually watching these videos and they're making changes according to the videos to an extent, because it's not everybody. It's not like it's a facility-wide change in doctrine or whatever. It's just certain people. Now, either that those certain people are listening to facility-wide changes and the others are just saying, the heck with you, I'm not doing that. Or they're watching the videos and the administrator is the one that says, the heck with you, I'm not doing that. And therefore, everybody's saying that, other than these few. I don't know what the case is. But I'm not going to stop. And if it takes going all the way down the line till I have to have an attorney bring a lawsuit against this administrator in this facility, that's what I'll do. I'm not going to stay here for 10 or 20 years with the crap that goes on around here. It's not going to happen. Anyway, that's 22 minutes, I think. I don't have my glasses on. It looks like it says 22 minutes. So like, comment, and subscribe if this has happened to you or you have some other anecdotal, story to put in there, whatever. Put that in the comments. Maybe I'll have you on here for an interview or whatever. In the comments, there's also how to donate to me to help me change my circumstances so I can get out of this nursing home. Although I probably shouldn't say that, because if you like the vlogs that I'm making about the nursing home, you might not want me to change my circumstances. But, I'm sure most people are going to want to help me if they can. So, like, comment, subscribe, help me if you can. And until next time, thanks a lot.